Well, the 90s was a pivotal point for me because I started DJing in New York City in 1985 in clubs. And when I was playing from 1985 to like 1990 or 91, I was playing in very big venues. And it was a very young crowd. But I played different types of music. I played house music as well as freestyle music, classics, disco, hip hop, reggae. I played a lot of different styles of music, but created a way of different tempos working during a night, So as I was playing that music, I played it for about 5 years. I played in those clubs, and then I stopped playing in clubs for like a year because I was working on an album, and it was on Atlantic Records. It was called When the Night Is Over, and it was Little Louis and Mark Anthony. And when I was working on that album, I met Kenny Dope through a mutual friend, Todd Terry, and he introduced me. And from there, when I started playing in clubs again, it was like 1992. I just took 1 year off, 1 year. No, didn't play music in the clubs in New York. And then I started at the Sound Factory Bar. And that was a very important part of, I think for the whole movement of house music in the 90s. Because I was playing in a club on Wednesday night where all of the DJs, the dancers, people in the entertainment, plus fans of the music hung out on a Wednesday night. And in one night you would have myself DJing downstairs in the funk hut, maybe Francois playing, or Kenny Carpenter, or many different DJs. And I was the resident DJ for Underground Network. And when I was playing in that club, in one night, it was like all the producers hanging out. Armand Van Helden, Eric Murillo, Todd Terry, Kenny Dope, Roger Sanchez, everybody was hanging out on Wednesday night at the club. So it became like the testing ground for the music. So there were also other clubs too. The Shelter was open as well, which was wonderful on the weekends. And but we were doing a party that was based on bringing together the music industry. So it was buzzing. It was hot. I was making a lot of music. So you would hear our music first, Masters at Work Records. When we finished in the studio, you hear it on Wednesday night, the next night, So it was fresh and new. And everybody, all the producers would give me their music, and I would play it as well. So I would program it into the night, and we created a whole scene. I guess all of us together, and that's what it was about. It was about a group of young DJs and producers and singers and dancers that all got together and wanted to make music. So that was a very pivotal point in my career. Because I went from one genre into a new genre, where before I was playing, very open format, but still underground in all its forms, whether it was freestyle music or house music. I mean, I was playing Marshall Jefferson, Larry Heard, everything when it first came out in 1985, 84. So I was still playing house music. I was just playing other kinds of music as well, and I was making other kinds of music, which was freestyle music in the mid 80s to early 90s. But when I went to the Sound Factory Bar, it was the very beginning when I started making a lot of house music. So it was a big change in my career, and at the same time, I happened to be in the center of it all because I was the DJ who broke a lot of those records, and I was making a lot of those records. So I was educating the crowd with this new kind of music that was coming from New York, a lot of it from New York. Well, I think Back in the House is great because the director, DJ Hetty, he was able to capture the essence of the 90s by following all of us around. We didn't even know what was happening. We thought he was just a fan. I don't think he never intended to make a movie. He was a fan of our music, so he was following all of us. Louis, could I come to the studio? Could I interview you? Could I just see you in the studio? Todd, he was just doing that. So I think the great thing about this this piece is that it captured the essence of the '90s more than anything that I've seen yet, because he followed us from New York to Miami, and you know, he has the cream of the crop of the producers that made a lot of that music. And today, a lot of the music from the '90s is very influential to the youth today. You know, I'm hearing a lot of records and a lot of the youth today being influenced by Masters at Work sound, or Todd Terry sound, or Roger Sanchez sound, or you know, just the Basement Boys. You know, there's Kerry Chandler. There's a lot of that influence in today's youth in the way they're making music. But I look at it this way, you know, in the '90s we were listening to music from what, 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and we were listening to disco and, you know, R&B and soul. And now you're talking about the year after 2010 into 2014 now, people are listening to the '90s. It's like 15 years ago. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And that's what's happening now. The music is influencing a lot of the youth today. If you listen to groups like Disclosure, or, you know, a lot of these records that are coming out now have influences of, you know, Masters at Work, or Todd Terry, or Roger, or, you know, a lot of us, Armand Van Helden, that were making music in the '90s, you know. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's now the worlds are coming together more, you know. The youth is reaching out to the elder statesmen. We are like the elder statesmen now. We are like the teachers, you know, but they're connecting with us and we're connecting with them. You know, I'm doing work now with Soul Clap and Nick Monaco, you know, and that, you know, it's a good thing, because it's, you know, we're reaching different generations, and I think that's what it's about.